right, welcome back to another This Week in Prophecy. I'm here with Aaron. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Be weird to say 2027 one of these days, but welcome back, or welcome for the first time. If you're new here, we want to explain what we mean when we talk about prophecy. So prophecy isn't just about predicting the future. In Scripture, prophecy is God speaking by His Spirit to His people so they can be built up, they can receive guidance, they can be brought back into truth or strengthened into obedience. So sometimes prophecy comes as encouragement, other times it comes as loving correction, and that is because God is always good, but He's not always comfortable by our standards. So on this podcast, we take prophecy seriously and responsibly. We weigh it against the Bible. We look for the fruit. We refuse to fall into any of the hype, and so we're just going to have a conversation. Aaron receives prophetic dreams, visions, words, a lot of things from the Lord. And so we're going to unpack what he saw, what it could potentially mean, how it could apply to today, and how believers can respond in prayer without any fear. So, anyway, take it away.
Yeah,
I got a couple of dreams to go into. Aaron, how are you doing today? Good?
I'm good. It's getting hot, and so
I know.
Sweaty, sticky eyelids. Yeah, it's
post 100 this week.
Yeah, I saw that. It's supposed to go down.
We'll see. I'm waiting for a monsoon here in Vegas.
We'll see what happens. Jeez.
I hope. Anyway, but we got a couple of dreams to go through. One that's longer, another one that's a little bit shorter. So do you want to jump right into it? And then we've got some stuff to talk about at the end too.
Okay, so this is just very recent, 27 May 2026. And I dreamt that I ran into somebody I used to know. She invited me over to her house, and when I got there, she wasn't there. But I think it was one of her cousins. It felt like it was a relative, started yelling at me. Like, why don't you just let it go? Why don't you just go away? And I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, what do you mean let it go? And I got angry back. And I told her, like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm leaving. And I left. And as I left the house, I opened a door and I said, I can't do this anymore. I opened a door to a room, and when I opened the door, there was 4 men, and they were sitting, and they looked like older gangsters, like Hispanic gangs from like the 50s and 60s is what it looked like, or 80s actually. And they were older, like, maybe 60, late 50s, early 60s. And they all had the old-looking hat that the brim went all the way around, and they were wearing like Levi's that were too big, and they were folded over in the front, and undershirts, regular undershirts. And they didn't say a word to me. And 3 of them were sitting down next to the machine, and one guy was running this machine. And to me, the machine looked like it had been painted so many times, like a piece of equipment in a ship or in a prison. Mm-hmm. And let's see. So I was looking at them, but they wouldn't say a word, and they were making this cloth. And the machine looked like it was old. It was painted many times, and they were in a prison work program. But I don't know that they were in prison. It's just that's what I felt. Anyways, the roof was sparkly and bright, and the cloth was this beautiful pattern. Something I've never seen before. It just looked so beautiful. I touched it, and somebody came behind me and said, don't touch that. These men are working very hard on this. And the 3 were sitting down, and 1 man was running the machine, walking around. So like maybe they had taken turns.
Right. Interesting.
So, yeah.
Did you recognize the type of machine by chance?
No, I don't know what it was, but I can explain it. It looked like this cloth was coming out of it, and like the guy had this handle, and he was going like this, and it was coming out. And so I have no idea what it is. It just looked old. Mm-hmm. I've worked on machinery. I've been fixing things all my life, and I remember one time I had to stay on it was a World War II hospital barge that they converted into like a place for people to sleep that were their ship was in dry dock. And they had all this equipment that was there from World War II still on this barge.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a birthing barge. And I remember looking at this equipment, I'm like, it's so simple. You know, like this, whatever this is, it is just so simple. Like this one is like a water separator, separates the oil and the water. And we have these very complex machines with all this stuff. And this thing was just like, but it looked like it had been painted over so many times.
Right.
They never chipped the paint off. They just put another coat.
Yeah.
And so you could tell like it's thick. The paint is thick from being painted so many times. And that's what it reminded me of, like that. Like it was just painted so many times. And these three men were sitting in chairs and they were just they had their legs crossed and were just like this and like looking at me, but they wouldn't say a word. And the other guy was walking around the machine and he was like, shh, and he would pull this lever and this cloth came out. And I haven't, like, there's no words to explain the beauty in it. I can't, like, when I try to explain it, it doesn't do it justice. I saw something I've never seen, and it was so beautiful. And as it came out, it was like, let's see, like, so it was, the cloth had bars in it, like this, like the bars went across, and it was like the guy was pulling it. Maybe he was stamping it, but it looked like a Twix this long. And they were next to each other, right? That's the only way I could explain it. And they were just next to each other, but it was one cloth, and it had like gold stitching and silver and something else, and it was just like all interwoven. It wasn't a pattern like, you know, a shirt or like a blanket. It was just all, I don't know how to explain it. It was just weaved over here and this one, and then as the cloth went up, it was like in the middle, and like it kind of, I can't explain it, but it was so beautiful. And I remember looking at it, and as it's coming out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to touch it. This is amazing.
Right.
And then somebody came behind me and was like, don't touch that. It's not
Really?
ready
So
yet.
you went to kind of.
Yeah, I put my hand on it, and those guys didn't look. They didn't say anything to me. They just kept doing what they're doing. And I touched it, and then somebody came behind me. He's like, "Don't touch it. You can't touch it. It's not ready yet."
And then the dream kind of ended.
And that was it. Yeah. And then I woke up.
Do you know who the person was that you had known previously? The girl, like, are you able to? Was it somebody you had actually known, or was it just you knew that you had known him from the past?
I think it's somebody, like, I don't know. I can't see the face, but to me, it felt like somebody I knew from a long time ago.
Got it.
Like
almost like a childhood friend or something.
20s, in my 20s.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you think the sparkling ceiling means? Because one of the notes I had down was like, is that like revealing like the glory or like the or anything in that atmosphere or something like that? Like, is there did you get anything from that?
So I think it's because of what they were making, right? So it was just like, I can't see, it's so hard. What was coming out of that machine was making everything beautiful. It wasn't just the clock. Like it was coming out, and whatever was on the cloth was now everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it was like filling the space.
Yeah, I was filling the space, and it was just slowly coming out, and the guy was pulling the lever and like, and you could see the machine moving and working, and it just, as it came out, it was just like you look up and you see stitching and like a beautiful garden or something that colors you've never seen before, and it was amazing. I can't, like I said, there's no words to explain it. It was just, whoa, what am I looking at? I don't understand what I'm looking at. It's like, if you think about these men in, you know, the Old Testament prophesying about things, if somebody saw an airplane in a vision, what would they say? I don't know. It's a metal bird. Like,
right, because they don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah, they have no idea. It's something that hasn't even been created yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's something that's being created by these men, and it's like, as it's coming out, it just radiates. It's everywhere. You know, on the ceiling and the walls, and it's like,
Wow.
I can't explain it. There's a butterfly flying. You know, it's just like I can't
It's like
explain it.
majestic, yeah.
And it reminded me of the Karen Bass dream when I saw her lip ring. I could not. I don't have words to explain how beautiful it was when she took it off and gave it to me. And I remember it was small,
Yeah.
but as I had it in my hand, it was big and it looked like a butterfly. But the beauty of it, the colors, you know, imagine like in this little lip ring had every single precious gemstone, and it was
Wow.
like, you know, the topaz was more like a flowing water, not just blue.
Yeah.
And the rubies were red like fire flames, but it was just you know what I mean. There was no way to explain it. I try to explain it like the mixture of like diamonds and turquoise and all these things, but as I look back on it, like it was just so beautiful, and I remember going like this, and it just sparkled, and it was like. But now that I saw this, I understand like it's something so beautiful we don't have words to explain it.
Yeah. It's fascinating. When
Yeah.
you went to touch it, did you get any sort of like feeling or revelation from that, or did anything? You just went to reach and touch it and somebody said, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I touched it, and like when I touched it, I remember I felt the stitching, like the silver thread and the gold thread. I remember like I put my hand on it and I could feel the thread, all the threads like interwoven together. And when I touched it, it was like, oh wow. And then don't do that.
Was that do not touch it? Was that the same person earlier who was yelling at you about the friend, or was it somebody different? Because you said, why don't you you said that it was like her cousin or something had said, oh, just why don't you leave her alone? Was it the same person who told you not to touch it?
No, it was a guy.
It was a guy, so it was
Yeah,
different.
the cousin was a girl. So, but you know, it's funny that you say that. I think it was maybe one of her family members.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it because actually
but the people there felt kind of connected, is what you're saying.
that were in there already.
No. Like the girl at the beginning, it was her
Yes.
cousin who said, leave her alone. And then this person, it kind of felt like this male voice felt connected as well to that.
To me, he felt connected. Yes.
Okay, fair.
But so let me say this: there's actually a part in here that I don't think it was in what I sent you. I ran into her. Let's see. I was yelling, "Why don't you let her go?" And I got angry and said, "I'm done." I left. When I was leaving, she was walking up, telling me things that she had brought. So like as I went there, she wasn't there, and I got in an argument with her cousin. It was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm leaving, she's coming like, hey, look at what I have. And she has like a bag with stuff in it, like drinks or, you know, and like, hey, I, you know, for us to hang out. Like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And that's when I opened the door.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought that was weird. Like,
that is weird.
as I'm leaving, she's excited that I did come. You know, like came to her house, but it was like, no, I'm done with this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you said in here too, I got angry and said, don't tell me what to do. And said back, normally you don't get angry in your dreams.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that was.
So this is unique.
Yeah.
Is that symbolic of anything in your opinion? Just like the whole like, don't tell me what to do, you know?
You know, I don't know. It's not
or could
really.
that just be your attitude? You know?
It could be just like. It could be just like. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's something that needs to be something that needs to be gone. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Look, that's the point of me asking because we don't know. You know,
maybe it's like a unfinished attachment, something that needs to be cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's important, but it needs to be like I'm done.
Yeah.
You know. Because that woman, it was weird. Like I came in there and it was like, wow, I haven't seen I felt like I hadn't seen these people for a long time. And that woman was yelling at me, like, just let her, like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Just let it go. Like, get out. You know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why don't you just let her go? Like, I don't understand. But it's something that, you know, just needs to go. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah, and what a unique kind of setting to walk into this room where you have these three guys who look like Hispanic gangsters weaving something that is absolutely beautiful. And from your description, you know, it seems like the very stereotypical that you see in the old movies, like the Hispanic gangster driving an El Camino or something like that, right? Like,
So
I don't know. Like you could describe it was your dream, right? But it sounds like that to me.
growing up in California, that's like
Yeah, it's what you
I have people that I've known all my life like that. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
And so, but okay, so like I left the other part conflicted. Like I don't understand. Like I'm done with this. Whatever it is, something has to go. And then so I walk into this room with these men, and it's like older. To me, you could tell they were just older men. They actually all kind of looked the same. Now I think about it, they look like twins or triplets or whatever. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But yeah, and so
There were 3 of them or 4?
there was 4. There was 3 sitting down. Like one was on this side, one was on this side, and the other guy was like kind of in the back. And they were just sitting like they were taking turns.
Yeah.
But I didn't see them taking turns. I just knew that they were all involved in this. So, I mean, think about people like that. It's people who had their hard lives, right? Rough, intimidating, lawlessness. People like career criminals. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they were in this room. And like, again, I feel like, I don't know for sure, but to me it felt like a prison work program.
That is exactly one of my notes. That's crazy. I was going to be like, because you said old machine.
Yeah.
It looked like it had been painted over a bunch. And then
Yeah.
when you talked about that barge that was turned into basically like a barracks, you had everything that was like painted over.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but they're not chipping the paint off of a prison when they repaint the bars. They're just painting over them. So they get that thick kind of
Thick
like
paint, right?
The joke is like, oh, it's the landlord special where you just paint over it.
Right, exactly.
But it's the institutionalized special where you're putting institutional grade paint over something and then it gets thick and kind of like blotchy.
So think about this, right?
I get it.
In the ship, in prisons, they use certain colors, right? Like on the ship, we used a color. It was called haze gray, and it was like a gray, dark gray, but that was the color like for everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sometimes they would chip on the outside, especially they would chip away the paint because rust would get under it.
Right.
But on the inside, we would just paint it over.
Just caking it
and just
on.
cake it on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you had like the white, the haze gray, and there's like but it's like the prison, the same thing.
Yeah.
The bars would be white and the machinery was that gray color. That's what it looked like to me. It was just like a very old machine from the 50s, and it was just painted so many times that it was thick. So imagine like these men who we would just cast off as like, well, that's their choice.
Right.
That's what they want. But yet they were building something so beautiful.
Yeah.
So maybe I think it connects with, because like I said,
The Karen Bass thing is what,
California.
Yeah.
Right? You have people, anybody can be saved and born again, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's the mentality of like, well, they're not saved because they're not like me. Or, you know what I mean? This is a mindset of people. If you don't, like some churches, you have to dress this way and you got to wear this and you got to do this and you got to act this way, or you're a problem, you need discipline. You know what I mean? And so
it's like an institution.
Yeah, well, these men, exactly, stuck in this institution, right? And they were all dressed the same.
Yeah.
Like they all had the same clothes.
Like from a specific way of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what was building was so beautiful. So again, it reminded me of the lip ring. Like I really believe it's connected. And that Karen Bass dream, was that last week? That wasn't last week, was it?
That was the last one we talked about, was the Karen Bass dream, the lip ring, and the rib.
Okay, so that dream, it's the beauty of what was coming out of it is unexplainable
Yeah.
And there's no words. So,
Yeah, and that's really unique too, because it seems like both of these dreams hit on the fact of like there was something that was so awesome and beautiful that in our like sitting here today, what you saw can't be described in like words. It was like something that is so beautiful you can't describe it because we don't have anything that would represent it.
No, it's just something nobody's ever seen before.
That's really unique, yeah.
So it also reminds me of the vision where the river of colors was flowing through the picture. When they stuck their hand in it and stopped it, I can liken it to an old tube television when the signal would go off and it just had that snow. We call it snow,
Yeah.
It was like that, but much bigger and beautiful, more beautiful, But that's kind of what it is. But there's nothing. I've never seen anything that can even come close to it. So like something's coming out of California. We're seeing so many things happen there right now. You have Gavin Newsom under investigation. They're still counting the ballots. Like all these things are happening.
You know what statistic I heard about the ballot counting? And we could get into this later.
Okay.
But the entire nation of India can finish an election in one day. And it's taking California how many weeks?
Yeah. Well, even with that, Florida, you have almost an entire America that counts all of their votes in a single day.
I know.
Every hour.
I know.
These states are now, every time zone is done within an hour.
I know.
How is it that California needs all this time?
It's not rocket science.
No. There's something else. It's nefarious.
Let's get into that. But first, let's talk, because that was 17th of May, 2026, right?
Yeah.
So it was recent. We'll go back a couple of years. This was one that I think also plays into something that's going on politically currently in Oregon. But you shared with me 10th of December, 2021, very short dream.
Yes.
You were in Portland. Why don't you talk about that?
Okay, so I believe that this is connected to what's going on there. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I was in Portland, and I was on a dairy. I was a dairy farmer, and some man came from the sky. He tried to attack me, and I fought him off. And then a group of children came out of I want to say like children of the corn kind of thing, but like all these kids came
out of the field.
Yeah, and they were crazy. Like I don't know how to explain it. They're like just but they were trying to praise me, like, "Oh, you did it! You're amazing!" And then for some reason, I had that man's watch and I gave it back to him.
The guy you were fighting.
Yeah. And
that is so. First of all, like I know it's only like 2 sentences.
It is,
but that is insane. That's crazy.
Yeah. So with this, like dairy farm, what's happening in California right now? Like
Oregon.
Or I'm sorry, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
They're trying to ban hunting, fishing, raising livestock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fishing. It's crazy.
Is it just
anything
any of the agriculture that has to do with animals, or is it like can you still grow stuff?
Yeah, I don't think it was. It was just animals.
Mm-hmm.
They're put this bill. I think it's called Bill 28. Let me bring it up.
Is it because the animals have feelings?
Yes, or they worship them.
That's actually a deeper.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thread to go down.
To me, that's what it would seem.
But even like recreational, like catch and release fishing.
Yeah,
IP 128 hunting and fishing ban.
That's it.
Yeah. It would remove legal exemptions protecting hunting, fishing, trapping, and farming from Oregon's animal abuse status. Meaning that those would no longer be exempt. Hunting, fishing, trapping, and farming would be considered animal abuse.
Animal abuse. And that's,
wild.
See, why? Why they want to make the entire state vegan or vegetarian or like I don't understand.
The problem is though like if you people are okay. You can say that everybody's going to be vegan, but there's going to be people who still eat meat.
Sure,
they're going to have to get it from somewhere. like 95% of our pork market is already imported from China. So what are we just going to do? Outsource this even further and have less regulation and less controls?
I don't think it. You know what it?
Not to put my political hat on.
No,
but
you're
like,
right. But
like, what are we doing?
I think it has to do with the worship of animals. So right here it says criminalize. It would make the intentional injury or killing of animals illegal, with limited exceptions for human self-defense, right? Or veterinary practice.
So if you get attacked by a bear, you can
cow,
still kill it if you get attacked by a bear, right?
Yes, you could kill. You could defend yourself, but like butchering a cow, right, is illegal. So think about India.
Yes.
What is their sacred animal? Is a cow.
It's the cow. I mean, they run around the streets. They poop anywhere they want.
They stop traffic.
Yeah.
And you got to wait. If that cow decides to sit down, you cannot touch it.
Is that because in their belief of reincarnation, they believe that the cow is the highest level or something like that?
You know,
I don't know. I haven't studied. What is it? Hindi? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, my Sanskrit is not as good as my. I don't know Sanskrit. Anyways, I just know that this is an animal that they worship, and this is something. In their Hindu religion, it is very sacred to them.
Yes.
Now, you can go back even further to Old Testament, where when the Israelites came out of Egypt and Moses was taking too long, what did they build?
They came back. It was taking too long on the mountain talking with God. They built a golden calf.
Yeah.
And they started worshiping a golden calf.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Why the calf is, I don't know why. That's something good. I had to do some research, but it's the same thing. Like, this is like this gateway to, no, it's illegal to even bring meat into our state.
Yeah, that's a problem, man.
It's like California banned. They want to ban ARs, any kind of semi-auto automatic rifle, because they say it's killing kids, but it's not the rifle, it's the people. But they don't want to address the people; they just want to address the guns. Correct. So they made it really difficult. Like, if you want to own a gun, it has to have a magnet on the side. The magazine has to do this.
I remember. I built an AR in California that had to have the bullet button.
Yeah,
and I had the bullet button, and I had the affixed magazine. Now you can easily get around that by buying a $5 magnet.
The magnet, exactly.
Yeah, magnet. I will not admit if I did or did not have one, but let's just say there are ways around it.
I think it was like 2015 or 16. I went to a gun show. I was in San Diego for work, and I went to a gun show, and they kept trying to sell me that ring that you would put on your finger and you could touch it and the magnet would fall off. I'm like, no, man. I live in Washington. I don't need that.
Yeah.
But so it's just a foothold, right? It's the same thing with this, right? I mean, you can't go fishing. That's ridiculous.
I know.
But anything that hurts or injures an animal is now, they want to make it illegal.
You've been saying like breeding. So you're going to tell me that you can't like people who breed we have an Australian Shepherd. People breed Australian Shepherds. Is that now? People can't have dogs?
I don't know. Well, no, it doesn't say you can't own an animal. You just can't injure or hurt.
It says animal breeding practices.
Oh, did I miss that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to read the whole bill because I don't really think it's even going to pass.
So you can't even have a farm, like a cow.
But the fact that it's making it onto the ballot and there's 120,000 people who've signed up for it kind of shows how deranged we are.
Off the chain.
Off the chain,
Those
man.
People have got out of their collars.
That's crazy.
Off the chain.
So being a dairy farmer in that dream is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. So let's go back to that because
go back to that. So I know that's why you brought that dream up, because we were reading about that.
So scripture, I really believe it has to do with that. You have something coming out of the sky, and all these children trying to worship me.
Yeah.
Whoa! I'm like, I remember, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like a man coming out of the sky trying to fight me. So you got this bill, right? The dairy farmer, you got this bill coming up, and they're trying to put it forward. And then it's like all these people that signed this 120,000 people, they're just like idiotic children.
Yeah.
So, no, this is what we want.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but this place breeds that, right?
It does.
Oregon, Washington, California, it breeds that mindset of, oh, you want to have a turkey for Thanksgiving? You're a murderer. No,
I think of the
turkey is
turkeys.
delicious.
Yeah, turkey's great.
So that place breeds that kind of thing. So
We're really not going to win any votes in Oregon with this episode, huh?
yeah, no. But I think when I gave him back the watch, to me it symbolizes like timing.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a timing exchange. Like, here's your...
Yeah, it's like the perfect timing. Just like the New York where I lost my watch and I was trying to get it. Like the subway was full of water and my watch was in the water. And I was trying to get it out while those men were watching me.
Yeah.
You know, they were trying to attack me. It's like there's timing. 404, like all these things that we talk about, it's timing. Like be calm, be patient. You know, whether it gets passed or doesn't, there's a timing behind the entire thing. But he's letting you know, I'm watching.
Yeah.
You're not. I think the biggest part is like, okay, now people have to pray about this. So we see that bill and we know it's not good. We know it's just more ideological things they want to push on people when it's, you know, the worship of animals, the worship of cows and fish and whatever it is.
You said something that sparked another question.
Okay.
I'll ask you in a minute. But one of the things, too, is like we see this kind of, and I don't know why it's like starting in the West. There's probably no relevance to this. It's probably just how these states fall. But going back to Karen Bass's dream and like the coordination between, or the similarity between, you know, the beautiful tapestry that you saw, the beautiful lip ring and butterfly that you saw. We had a bunch of news out of California, right, this week. And then we get this news out of Oregon. It's like, do you think from like a geographical standpoint or anything that there's something more going on because we're talking about this stuff or seeing things happen in the news? It's just interesting.
Yes.
I wanted to get your kind of perception on that. And then I had another question about timing, but that's separate. So sorry to kind of derail you there, but that came up.
So California, right?
That was one of the cities with the chains on it in your dream,
yes,
right?
Los Angeles, San Francisco. Yeah. So California, Hollywood.
Yeah.
That the movie industry, it's huge. And that industry is very corrupt, very dark. If you want to be famous, you got to drink from the chalice.
Yeah, I think that even people who are not religious at all understand that there's something nefarious going on in Hollywood.
It's dark. It is dark because again, these narratives, oh, you should vote for Democrats, you this, and Trump's evil and Trump's the devil. It's always famous people, like as if because you made movies, you know what's best for me politically or what to worship or whatever it is, you know? And I think that mindset is going to change. Now, Washington, like maybe it's just because it's all along the same area, you know, like we were just talking about the Satan's throne in Germany.
The altar of Pergamum, which was moved into Germany before World War I, right?
Look how it's affected them since they moved it there.
Yeah.
I know that in Northern California, they have that, oh man, I can't remember what it's, something, it's like it's a place where people, the rich and famous go. And
I know exactly what you're talking
there's
about.
a big owl in the woods. I can't remember what it's called, but there was something that came out about it recently where it's been happening since the 20s, and they go and they just say it's like a networking thing.
Bohemian Grove?
That's it.
Yeah.
Like they just say it's a networking thing. So these things affect the land. When you go into Leviticus, God's telling them, like, these people who lived in the land while you were in Egypt corrupted the land.
Right.
They were having incest. They were doing this and that and like murdering people. The blood cries out. But the land was affected by what those people did. So East Coast, like Bohemian Grove, all these things, the land is corrupt.
Yeah.
So if you think about
arguably
this,
getting more and more corrupt because you look at where all these extreme views come from.
yes, it's always the left coast. Right?
Yeah.
So, but
It's a geographical
you also
identification because if you look at a map, it's on the left, right? Don't get it twisted.
it's both. So, but you also have Boston, you have Philadelphia,
New York.
It's
like the Mecca. Yeah.
and DC.
Yeah.
These are very old places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of history.
A lot of history, a lot of American history. Now, you're always going to have people that are corrupt. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. You're always going to have these two together simultaneously because some people will not follow God and some people will. But over like time, these things and they're doing, I think about this. So Oregon, Salem, there was this thing that happened in the 1600s or the 1600s. Anyways, where these girls went crazy and they started accusing all these people of being witches. Now,
isn't that Salem, like Massachusetts?
Massachusetts, it's
because there is a Salem, Oregon.
Right.
I always thought as a kid it was in Oregon, but it actually was in Massachusetts. Where you're talking about the Salem witch trials.
The witch trials, right? Yeah. So all these girls, they got all these people died because they were blaming everything on witchcraft. Oh, they were witches. I saw her in her robe walking in the
dark. Yeah.
Oh, she's a witch. She must be. Everything is right now. These things affect right. Let's just say one person out of all those people really was doing something nefarious, but everybody else just got caught up. That blood is in the land now.
Yeah.
Those people have done something corrupt.
Yeah.
They're murdering people in the name of Jesus because you're a witch, you're this, you're Jezebel, you're this. That corrupts things.
You think that can corrupt not in the same way of because we're not murdering people, but we look at the charismatic church today, which has come under a lot of fire for doing a lot of things that, and putting people on pedestals who are false and saying things are this when it's really not. Is that type of behavior something that can corrupt even today, within a congregation, within a church, within a body? You're sitting here and you're calling everything witchcraft and you're blaming all these people and you're saying that these people are heathens and need to be kicked out. That doesn't create a good environment.
It doesn't create a good environment, but look at, gosh, man, I can't remember his name. That man who was keeping people in his basement and saying, you better make $6,000 today cold calling people or you're not going to eat. It's that kind of, and then when somebody would say something against it or question or say anything, oh, you're a Jezebel, you need to go.
Yeah.
This does corrupt.
Yeah.
It corrupts people. Like, imagine how many of those people just were hungry for God, got caught up in this situation, and now God's not real.
Yeah.
And
because they're so jaded by the experience. Is it too much too fast? Like, is it just time? Like, is it pushing the envelope too much? Like, what do you think starts? Because it's a slippery slope.
There's no patience.
That ties into my timing question.
There's no patience with people.
Let me ask my timing question. So you said earlier when you handed the watch back, timing, be patient. My question is, how do you, somebody who gets all these dreams and visions and stuff, things that are probably way beyond what we know in the natural world, right? Things that you can't even explain in today's words, right? How do you sit on all these things and remain patient and actually follow and discern what you're supposed to say at what time? Because we've talked before, and I think we've even talked on the show before, that not every single dream that you get or word that you get is to be just regurgitated immediately. How do you have that discernment?
Well, that comes with time and relationship with God, because in the beginning, I did.
Oh, and we've even talked about that, how you ruffled some feathers.
I did
and probably pissed some people off.
I did a lot. Yeah. But as time went on, he showed, I think we think that God, we get filled with the Holy Spirit and we just know it all.
Right.
The Holy Spirit is going to help you. You can't turn somebody's life upside down and change every single thing about them in one day. Like, we as humans couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
You can, in your mind, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit having sex with women. I'm going to quit all these things. Good. But to change your whole attitude, your whole lifestyle, everything that you think takes time. And you have to have patience with God. Now, I've found this a lot in my past experience is that people will do so many things and they're not realizing what they're doing to other people. When I was...
and albeit, let's give them credit, at least I'm thinking with your example, they're probably doing some of these things with good intentions.
100%.
Right? Okay.
I believe that most people get into ministry with 100% good intentions and love for God, but over time, they're corrupted by the people before them.
Yeah. Or the people they meet along the way.
So I had an experience with a person, and he was just like, every day I gotta do this, and this day is this, and this day is this, and this day is this. But nothing is producing fantastic fruit. Everything is just a couple of seeds.
Right.
And instead of being patient and just listening to God, that man stepped on so many people along the way, but thought, well, you're not doing what I'm doing, so you're not doing enough.
Right.
And when God was saying to me, Aaron, no, I don't want you to be that man. I want you to be what I'm going to make you.
Yeah.
Not what you think you should be. And so people they don't have patience with people. When God changes us and we get offended or we get emotional, and we try to find an excuse for everything. This is, well, I did that because of this and that was, but God, God told me to do, like, he didn't tell you to hurt people. He didn't tell you to run over people. He didn't tell you to do 1,000 things and not listen to what he's telling you. That man lost everything.
Yeah.
So he had something that was okay, I'm going to do this. And it was like, God was like, nah, that's not of me.
Yeah.
But yet I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 25 years. And it just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just plateaued and then lost it all. Yeah. Because he's not patient with God. He's not patient with other people. Oh, you don't want to do what I want to do? Then you're out. I don't need you. And then well, hold on. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, but that's what your heart, you're speaking from your heart. Yeah. If I say something that disagree with you, then you're wrong, And so that man lost everything. But it's patient. It's not me. I learned in the very beginning, God was like, Aaron, you need to be patient. Jesus didn't just get in a car and drive to the next town. He walked, they stopped, they camped. It took time. It was 3 years, but he didn't go very far. Right. In those 3 years, it was after when the 12, they went out. Yeah. Right. But he just went right here in this little area, and that was it. That was what he focused on. Then they went out and they focused on their areas. Yeah. And then once they built their areas, they traveled between the two, and so on and so forth. But it wasn't like I need to. Jesus didn't go to Asia and Rome, and he stayed in that area. And when he built that, then the 12 went into those areas, and they stayed there, and they built. It's fascinating. And they built.
It's fascinating to think about that because I don't think many people hit on that.
No, because you're seeing these men today who are following, and I got to go to Europe, I got to this, I got to that. Why don't you take care of the people in front of you? Yeah. What was his name? One of the false prophets that was using the internet to make up his stories. The man was traveling all over the place. Yeah. If he would have just stayed in one place, he may have never did what he did. Yeah. God would have, maybe in the beginning God was speaking to that man, but he lost it because he wasn't listening to God. He needed to perform. When you are in one place and you pass on that understanding and gift on how to heal, it comes with time, but patience. Yeah. If you're not patient with the people in front of you,
how are you going to be patient with the entire world? Yeah.
He will just stop doing what you're doing. But that's just the way it is, like either I learned in the very beginning, like, Aaron, I'm going to show you things, but you need to be patient. We're talking things from that was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question. Before all this started, were you a very patient person?
No, I retired from the Army. I don't have patience for nothing with nobody. You can ask my son, Alex, come on, let's go. I didn't have patience with people. I here's what it is. Today, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Go out. And in my mind, I knew, okay, I told them what to do. They're going to go to the smoke break first, and then they're going to get something off the truck, and then they're going to go do it. And in my mind, I'm like, go now. No, I'm not. No. But I know how they are. So, clenching my teeth.
You're sitting there just like riled up because you're like, you guys can smoke after.
I'll give you 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go out there and kick somebody in the shins. So, but it was very, very hard because everybody around me was saying, you need to be like this. If you're not doing what I'm doing, you're not doing enough. No, you need to come in Monday, Tuesday. You need to do all these things. And we're the family now. I'm thinking to myself, I need to make sure I have spent time with my family. And they were saying no. We're going to be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I got burnt out there quick.
Yeah.
But I kept going because I thought this is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And
you had to learn.
I had to learn patience with God. And I had to see what was going on behind the scenes. But, I'll talk about another dream. I had a dream one time that God showed me how the inner workings of the inside of the church was supposed to work. And it was amazing. I saw how the people give their tithes and the money's supposed to do this and this. And this is after I was an administrator at a church.
Yeah.
But he's showing me this is how it's supposed to work. This is how it's supposed to work. This is how it's supposed to work. But it was totally different from what I was being told. I'm the man you could say inherited a church, but it wasn't his church. It was the Church of God's church. But for him, this is how he's going to make his retirement. Is what he said to me. Watch, we're going to be able to retire from this. He had a business, many businesses that failed miserably. But then he quit working, and I'm just going to work at the church. And so, he was getting this amount of money. Here, I need this amount of money. We don't make that much money, what I mean?
Arguably, we could probably do a whole season on having worked in finance for the last 10 years, the way that churches handle finance. I could do a whole 10-part series on that, but I knew a guy who literally ran a company and was an elder at a church and funneled all of his business earnings through the church for tax sensitivity and tax protection and all this stuff.
There's
and it's
no accountability whatsoever.
And it's so corrupt, and it's really unfortunate because that is exactly what Christ comes against extremely strongly in the Bible.
There is no the church, there's nobody to hold them accountable except for the people inside.
Yeah.
But they will cover up for the leader if they think that, this is the man of God.
Yeah.
So there will never be accountability. God is entrusting you as a leader, right? This man, God was, he was being entrusted with people's offerings.
Yeah.
And they were spending it on junk. The point is that this is how we see church today with people, all over the place.
Yeah.
And just like this, him showing me be patient. I'm going to give you, give the watch back because it's timing. It has to do with timing and timing. Everything is in its perfect time. Be patient with God, but pray about it. I've been praying for some of these things for years. And one day I went up and I'm praying for Japan and I'm praying for this and I'm praying for that. And he's like, I already answered all those prayers. We can move on.
Yeah.
And I felt such peace.
Yeah.
I felt the presence of God. He put it it was like he put his hand on it. I already answered all those prayers. We're good.
Yeah.
We can move on to something else. And it was
Yeah.
Okay. now I'm going to give you some rest because you've been getting up this time for so many years.
And
like,
it's funny because patience is so important, and everybody always jokes like, oh, don't pray for patience because then you're going to get taught it. But I think that regardless, we get taught anyway. And sometimes God has to break us down to say, okay, now I've stripped everything away. Build it the right way. Build it back the right way, you know?
So funny. Today, somebody said, oh, that's your son, right? Because he's working with me. I'm like, yeah. And he was walking. He's like, he has that walk like you do. I'm like, what's that? He's like, I'm going to get there when I get there. And I was like, that's so funny because I remember when I was in the military walking with my wife, and I'm walking my normal pace, and she's behind me running.
Yeah.
And I was just walking a normal pace.
Yeah.
And it was me on the go. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like that movie, Goodfellas, when he's explaining about the boss. And he's like, Paulie may have moved slow. That's because he didn't have to move for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about that like...
No, it's very true.
Yeah, it's patience.
It is, man.
People will push you and you know, like there's times when, you have to... God is saying, like, look, okay, I need you to do it. Okay, I'm going to go do it. But then it doesn't mean, like, for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a task.
And steamroll everybody to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a task, and I'm giving you a task.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you have to blab it to everybody else. Sometimes he says that, you know, like, you don't have to blab it to everybody else. But when I tell you, then do it.
I agree.
And, so.
I mean, hey. We were kind of a little all over the place, but I think that's a good spot to wrap.
We kind of were.
Yeah.
We kind of went into 10 different conversations, but...
I think it's good. I think it's good.
He wants to say what he wants to say.
Absolutely. Should I pray us out?
Yeah.
All right. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for coming together and just allowing us to talk. We just... we pray that your Spirit just move in us. We pray that you give us discernment. We pray that you give us patience to hear your word, to understand it, and to act accordingly, God, and to not put our own understanding or our own structure or mindset on top of what you are trying to show us. So, God, I pray that you just give us peace. I pray that you'd continue to reveal yourself to us in new and wonderful ways, and that you would just bless us and our families. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Cool. That's that.